I feel like you can be confident and humble at the same time.
Tell
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you can be confident and humble. I think it's it's a balance, definitely, but I feel like overconfidence can kind of be like arrogance, boastful, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can lean towards that side, but I feel like you can definitely be confident and humble at the same time, because if you are sure of yourself and you're sure about what you're doing and you're sure about, you know, just you back yourself basically. That's more so believing in yourself and believing in your source. It doesn't necessarily mean like, because when I think of some people that aren't humble, it's kind of like they're rubbing it in your face that they're this way or that way, or they have this and they have that. And I feel like if I'm just sure of myself and I'm sure of what I'm doing and I'm backing myself and I'm 10 toes in it down, I feel like I'm the only person that needs to really know that. I don't need to be throwing it in people's face.
But when it come out though, if you have that, when you just like, does the word exude it, like in that sense?
Yeah, but that's the thing. So you can exude it. That's something that people will pick up around you. But I don't need to go around telling people that I'm confident. I don't need to tell people what
That's true.
what the positive traits are or the attributes that I carry. I don't need to physically say that. You can pick it up, but I don't need to say it. I feel like when you say it is when you go from being the humble thing is in the wind. It doesn't apply to you anymore. I think I don't know if that makes sense.
It does, and it kind of makes me think of Tasha on Love Island, and how I think, you know, I know
She said I'm a bad bee.
yeah, no, but it's very much I'm a bad bee, I'm sassy, and I'm fierce, and it's like I don't know why
But
it was rubbing
where?
people off the wrong way that she was saying it, but it actually kind of makes sense. Like, show us, let us see it, rather than you force it down our throats.
Yeah.
That you say, telling us like,
Yeah.
okay, we haven't
Yeah.
seen it, so you know, and it's
Anyway,
made me
sure.
think about that.
Okay, yeah. That's a really good example, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's so important to have the two. That is so important, because being humble allows you to remain grounded
Yes.
at all times, and it's a reminder consistently of like this. It's something bigger than just this. When you're humble, when you look around, you're like, oh my gosh, I have all of this. God, I'm actually just grateful. It's like it's more than just showing the world that I have this. It's actually bigger than that. It's a blessing from God and something between me and God, kind of. And then the confidence, you need that because it will continue to propel you into where you need to go consistently. So that you can keep experiencing the humbleness and the humility and the blessings. It's a bit of a cycle kind of thing. So it's really key that you have both. Like the word meek, though, I don't know, because we've kind of taken that out, and now I'm like, then what is meekness? Like, what is it? I've heard it, but me too. I don't really know what it means.
Meek,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't. Me personally, I don't like the word meek.
Yeah.
I don't actually associate myself with me. I think humility, I get it, and I definitely agree with your point, Kenya. I think they work in cycle. There are times where you need to be confident. You need to be confident in yourself, showing yourself bold, take steps, but then when those things also pay off, you remain grounded, and it's not a self-serving thing, but also like grateful for where you're at, and sort of like more of a how not making it about you. How do I involve people? How do I work with people? Like a lot of even Jesus, like it's like you're being he was confident in what he was brought on this earth to do, but he was humble in terms of the purpose he was serving and who had called him, and his purpose was to serve us. So I think being grounded in the fact that what you're confident for it to do, those benefits are not for you. I think that's what I got from it. That's true. When I saw that, it's like you're confident in order to fulfill the purpose that God has given you, or to just be who you're supposed to be on this earth, and like do amazing things, and take a risk and all those things, and whatever life throws at you, and even sometimes when they don't work out, being confident in your process and being confident in it's not worked out now, but I'm still sort of like trusting the process, but being also able to remain humble when those things actually pay off, and remember sort of like where you're coming from, and knowing that you're not where you've gotten to by your own like strength, whatever. But I think like it's I was gonna say
It's about
It's
the
the
meek.
It's the
the
meek,
meekness. Yeah, I feel like I don't know what the definition of meek is, but I always feel, I don't know, I always kind of see meek as like feeble, like it's always kind of described as like feeble, like
How does the Bible
weak.
describe it?
Well, the Oxford Dictionary, or whatever, describes it as being quiet, gentle, and easily imposed on,
Try.
submissive.
No, that's got nothing to do with me.
Do you know what? Quiet? I don't.
Easily
Quiet is
imposed
good.
on.
What is it?
It's a shy person,
It-
bruv.
Yeah, basically, and then
Is that
again,
being
Easily
easily
imposed on.
that's what's come
And
up.
what was it? And submissive.
And
No,
submissive.
submissive is not a bad word.
Yeah,
When
but
you
it's the way
couple it
it's
with all of
used,
those
yeah.
things,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
just a
but-
mug.
No, but it's true when it's coupled with that. It's just like
Sounds
you're
like a
more.
kitty cat. But anyways, yeah, I don't really like that word at all. I feel like it's like you're just there, like you just. I feel like meek is always described as, even the description of that, it just sounds like.
But why does the Bible tell us to be meek?
Another definition. Well, here it's saying, what's the difference between humility and meekness? It says meekness refers to the quality of being quiet, gentle, righteous, and obedient. On the other hand, humility refers to the quality of being humble.
But I guess maybe being meek in relation to our relationship with God, right? That you're obedient, you know, you're receptive to what God's word are easily imposed. I don't know if God actually described his word as imposing them on us, but we're receptive to it, as opposed to like
Biblically,
Yeah.
meek
Yeah.
and humble work in tandem together.
They
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But outside of, I don't know how can I say outside of it,
But I feel
not
like
outside of
in
it, but
terms of other
as
people.
individuals, I think it's very hard to be meek in this world that we're living in.
Yeah.
Get
It's
trodden
not.
on.
I wouldn't, like, if my daughter was very meek, I would encourage her to just be a bit more, like, you know, forthcoming. Just because people in this world don't know how to treat meek people.
Yeah.
They just don't tend to treat them the best. So
But I guess if you're being confident as well as being meek, then it's like, you know, you are confident in yourself, and, you know, like say for instance an example of being quiet or whatever, like you don't feel the need to prove a point, I guess, and you talk when you want to, when, like, I don't know, it's like if it's working in tandem with being you as a person, you're a confident person, but because, you know, there's some people, they don't really talk a lot, or they're not really out there, but there is a certain surety they have in themselves, in their principles, in what they're doing. And one can say, you know, is then be meek. I'll say maybe you know, maybe meek as a standalone, I'm not sure.
People say
I
that.
I don't really subscribe to that, but I think someone that is confident and maybe like, as well as meek and humble, I get it, because I think you're able to strike a balance when you need to. Because I think definitely on my journey, one thing that I have learned is like confidence is not always being the loudest voice in the room and being quiet. And sometimes if I don't like something, I'm someone that naturally, if I don't like something, if I don't agree with something, I will voice my logic behind that. And, you know, I've learned to or be okay with it when you're, you know, you're not, the people don't agree with you, or you're not feeling the need to like prove your point or whatever. Whereas I think it's like, so that's kind of like being able to have an opinion or have a view, but also being meek and humble in the same time means being able to also take others on and being able to be quiet and silent, and just trusting that some people also have like better opinions than you. So I feel like if it works in tandem with being confident, I get it. And I think that's also good way to sort of keep yourself leveled and grounded, but not alone.
I think I've definitely heard people say stuff like, "Oh, be quietly confident," and I always wonder what that means, because, like, is that around meekness? Is that around being humble? like it's what Rosalind said about being the you might have loads of things to say, but you don't say it. Like, is it now become like, is it like a fashionable thing? It's like, yeah, like I don't speak too much, but when I speak, you know, like, I don't know, but you know, I just mean I've heard that before, and I wonder if it's a way of, number one, making confidence look like it can come off bad, so you have to be quietly confident. Like, I don't know. Yeah, so I'm just throwing out there.
I kind of see that as I find that it's borderline cocky, arrogance, kind of that attitude personally. Because people do, they're like, oh, don't talk about your moves, just show your moves. Okay, so do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's just as bad as someone who chats about everything that they're doing and showing us. It's the difference is you just are trying to act like, oh, it's not a biggie to me, but in the end you're gonna see the biggie, how it really is. And I always find that just a bit like, maybe don't talk at all, and maybe don't show us at all. Like, just be happy. Just be happy with you and your team around you who are happy. But yeah, I find that it's like,
Just like,
I don't know if I'm making sense. Yeah, like building suspense, like no one's building suspense that no one has asked for, and it's like, again, because you are looking for attention somehow. Like the person who talks all the time about what they're doing and yeah,
Stand them kind of people.
it's just as bad. It's the building of the suspense to just show the world, like, look at me in it, like, look what I'm on, look what I'm doing. It's really difficult. But then maybe is it us that are looking at it in that perception, and they're genuinely like, I'm proud of this thing and I'm just trying to showcase it to everyone, and we're the ones that are looking at it like, you're doing too much.
This is what I was saying. Like, there's a fine line between humility and sharing your wins. Like, I understand that people want to share the good things that have happened to them in their life. I understand, that's fine. But I feel like sometimes you're not sharing to edify or empower. You're sharing to tell us, my life is so good. And that's it. And I feel like that is a bit problematic because... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, after you.
No, go on.
See, the thing is, I hear it, but I also feel like everyone's journey is different. Sometimes, because we're in a world where social media is such a massive amplifier and just literally puts a loudspeaker on things you're doing, a lot of the times people might not necessarily come onto a platform to talk about all the grinding they've been doing behind the scene. And I think that sometimes as well, like, how you get to where you are is not the most pleasant thing, and people come there to I don't know what someone's called, like, I think it's like social media is like kind of create a space where people just come and do like PSAs of like their wins and things like that, and I definitely hear it. Those things I always kind of question their motive, but I do also feel like it really depends on someone's journey. Sometimes you're not in a space to share the challenges of what you've gone through, but when you get there, you want to share that. And I feel like as long as your intention behind that, your motives behind that are pure and it's not to rub it in, then it's calm. No one can actually nobody can tell if whether you're trying to rub it in or whether you're not. But I think that people shouldn't feel bad for sharing, and there's some people that sometimes you might be in a cycle where like there's a lot of things happening and you're sharing. I just think that when people find themselves doing that, there's a certain of responsibility to also maybe just invite people in on your journey and the struggle, so that it doesn't look like all you're doing is sharing that. But I do feel that I don't know, I just think is again striking the balance of,
that's why I said it's a thin line.
Sharing the win.
It's a very thin line.
Sharing the wins, but also just sharing how you got there and maybe the struggles. But I just think that sometimes also delivery, because some of these men out here is like someone will say, oh, I've got 5 Birkin, and it's like we'll all be doing the maths of how much 1 Birkin is, and it's like, okay, you sold us the 1, You told us the second one. Must you tell us you have 5? So
do you know what?
I
It's
just feel
not
like
even-
sometimes delivery as well is
Yeah,
kind
I
of like,
agree.
is your delivery to be showy? Is your
Yeah.
delivery to be to encourage? Like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like
Yeah.
this is something that I've wanted for such a long time, and I
Right.
can't believe I've even able to afford 5 of it. Like, it's taking me so long to get here.
Right.
You're saying the same thing equally, but
Delivery
delivery
is
is different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the spin and the perspective that you're presenting is different.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, that-
that's
There's-
basically
there's
what I
an
was
art.
saying.
There's
Yeah,
an art to like.
that's what I was saying. It's a
delivering
thin
stuff.
line between sharing your wins and humility. Is basically it's down to the delivery and your intent behind it. I think that's really important. But I forgot what I was going to say, Suki.
So maybe to the question, how can one be able to be confident in what they're doing, be it who they are, and not forget themselves in all the source that you have and all the things that are going well, and still remain grounded and humble in your wins, and be meek as well. Meek.
Let's remove the meek one.
The meek one will just
you can't
can
remove
the meek one
put
is
a pin in it.
Yeah, remember. So
well,
meek,
if we put the Christian, if we're saying that the meek
Yeah.
is one that like the biblical is about your relationship with God, then we can.
Yeah.
somewhat.
Okay, I get it. Yeah. I mean, I can only speak from my perspective. I don't know if I would deem myself a humble person. I don't know. I think even that in itself is removing the humility.
Yeah.
I'm a humble person.
I agree.
A humble
I'm
servant.
humble.
I'm
your
humble.
name is-
That is
your name
removing the
is
humility
humble.
behind
People's
it.
name is,
But
humble.
with me, I just what Kenya was saying, it's just like I just remain grateful for every step, every door that God has opened. I remain grateful because I feel like that's important. Like Bible says, do not despise small beginnings. Like for me, I always just remember how far I've come, and to know that, listen, life can be sweet, and I thank God for all the doors that He's opened for me and everything that He's done in my life. But the same way I didn't have it 5-6 years ago could happen tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? So I always try and remember where I am, to be grateful, just to be grateful and to remember where everything has come from. Because I think sometimes when doors are opening for you like quite quickly and you're becoming it's like things are more accessible to you than they were before, it's easy to get caught up in what everybody's saying and the lifestyle and all of those things like that. And I admit it's nice, it's tantalizing, but at the end of the day you need to think about, if I didn't have those things and if I wasn't this person, who would I be? And I think we attach a lot of our physical like tangible things, like our value to our tangible things and what we can show people. And for me personally, I'm not attached to all of that kind of stuff, because I know that the God I serve, even all of this is temporary. So it can be here today, it can be gone tomorrow. So I just always try and remember, listen, the only reason why I have anything that I have is because God has allowed me to have it. And yeah.
For me, it's like scripture. So confidence, looking at the side of confidence, building that, it's finding scripture that I know I can hold on to, that will boost me up. So like, one of the scriptures is, God did not give you the spirit of fear and timidity. That's the word. That makes you feel a bit more like, okay. So when I'm feeling timid, like, no, there's no reason for me to feel like this. God has given me a spirit which is opposite to being timid, is being confident and comfortable. I've got that spirit instead, and so on, and just holding on to those and being able to meditate upon them. And in moments where you're feeling like, oh, I'm lacking confidence, oh, maybe this isn't for me, but what does God say to me about the plans He has for my life? What does He say who I am? And literally say it to yourself. If you have to say it every morning when you wake up and look in the mirror, if that's what you do, then do that. Or if it's just a thought as you're going and praying, you're just saying those things. Lord, today I am, because you say I am. And just to build you up. I think that's really helped me.
To be confident.
Because I know that my confidence doesn't come in my physical appearance. It doesn't come in my assets. It's something that is from God. I think some people say Godfidence. Have you heard that before? Godfidence. It literally comes from God.
Yeah, and I think think that's where people get carried away, and I think that's where the lack of humility comes in, is because they start attributing the things that they have to themselves.
Yeah.